Hi guys, welcome back to Oldtimer Garage. So, as you can see, I've received some of the stuff I've ordered. I'm saying some because there's some things that haven't been delivered yet. In particular, the roof of the car that's not in stock at the moment, so it should be delivered sometime next week, hopefully. But for the rest, everything should be here. So I just wanted to share that with you. The car is not here just yet, but it should be here tomorrow if everything goes to plan. And of course I'll try and make video of that as well. So let's get started and see what's arrived. It's Christmas before Christmas. Right, so that's the stainless bar that comes on the front flap, and I think it's called the vent flap at the front of the car. So I'm not really sure the one on my car is damaged, but they tend to rust quite a lot on these small screws here. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera. So I just went on and buy a new one anyway, just in case, and it will look better anyway. So that's it. I'm not sure if there's anything else in here. There should be 12 small nuts that go with it, but it doesn't seem to be in here. So yeah, that's it for that. Next. Here's the bill to start with, nice. So it says on here that the hood will follow sometime next week, according to what they told me. Apart from that, I need to check that everything seems to be in here. 427 pounds worth of parts here. Right, so let's see what's in here. So that's a belt for the alternator that goes between the front fan and the alternator. Oil filter, not sure if you can see here. It's just a standard one, it can be found pretty much anywhere, but because I was paying shipping for everything else, I might as well get one in there. These are the three shock absorbers or the engine mounts. So this one goes on the gearbox at the back of the engine and gearbox, and these two go right in underneath the engine at the front. Next, so I've got two petrol filter, one gearbox linkage replacement. I've got what else? A spring for the hood catch, because the hood catch is on my car, so the spring is missing, so it doesn't really keep the hood closed. Then I've got the 12 nuts I was talking about for the front flap vent. I've got two brackets, I'm not sure if I can show them there. I could have made them, but I don't have anything to cut them from and with or anything like that. So these two brackets are for keeping the wing valances in place. And obviously on my car, one of them is missing, so I need to replace that. Apart from that, I've got two petrol filter, the 12 tiny 5.5 millimeters nuts that goes on the front flaps. That's the new gearbox linkage to replace the one that's actually currently on the car, because all the rubber parts are a bit burnt out by the heat of the engine, and they're all soft. And here is the spring for the hood catch. Not sure if you can see, but oh well. Here is the seal for the front flap. The seal on my car is all burnt out and cracked, so I need to replace it, and to be honest it's a pain in the butt to replace, but well, it needs to be done. After that I've got the two tubes that go on the wings to take the heat of the engine out through holes that are on each wings. I've got 4 heating tubes to bring the heat of the engine through to the cabin. The ones that are currently on the car could do, but the thing with these tubes, they've got some foam in them. I'm not really sure what this is for. I would guess partly it's for isolation, and partly it's for noise reduction. The thing is, when they get hot, these foam tends to fall apart and become small dust. Now, I wouldn't really mind for myself, but because I will probably drive this car with my wife in it and my newborn baby, I just don't want them to breathe that. So I just went away and buy a new set. Then I've got 2 wiper blades, because obviously on an old car the wiper blades are all cracked. So this would be replaced. And here is, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, that must be the fuel pump. Yeah, there you go. So that's the fuel pump that goes, well, that's specific on these models of cars. The older ones were pretty much the same, but they used to have mechanical lever on it, which was very handy when the car didn't run for a while, because you could just bring the petrol back to the engine without having to put some directly in the carburetor, or just well, you just have to push a few times on the lever and it would bring the petrol to the engine. On those later versions you couldn't do that, and as you can see, this is a mechanical fuel pump, so you've got this small lever here which comes onto the engine, and when the engine is running there is a rod that comes pushing on here, and this just makes the petrol come and go through to the engine. As you could see in the video I made about the restarting of the car, the fuel pump is working, but because I intend to take this car on a road trip, I always like to have a spare in the trunk just in case, because you never know, it's just a small rubber membrane in there, and if it fails then the car is stuck. And it's just a 2-bolt part, so it can be changed in about 15 minutes, even less. And it's not very expensive. I think it's about £30 or something like that, probably even less than that. Let's have a look. Fuel pump, yeah, 29 £29. There you go. So it's not worth not having one in the car. I usually like to have a coil and ignition box as well, but because this car is an electronic ignition, I didn't want to buy a second one for that. So I might get a set of standard ignition, which means an ignition box with the points condenser and standard coil as well. Actually, I might make a video about all the parts I like to have in the car when I'm traveling with it. just if that might be interesting to some of you. And yeah, that's about it really. So I'm just waiting for the hood to arrive sometime next week, but I'm not in a hurry because even when the car arrives, I'm going to take the whole hood out, and I'm not going to replace it straight away because, as you can see here, I've got lights straight above the car, or above where the car is going to be, and if I take the roof off, then it's going to be much easier to see inside it. So the roof replacement is going to be just at the end, just before taking the car away. And apart from that, I am going to go and collect a few second-hand parts on Sunday, so in about 3 days. And there should be, I can't remember everything, but there are a set of rear doors because, as you could see in the first video, mine are completely shot, and I don't have a welder here to fix them. So I'm just going to go and replace them. There are a front bumper because mine is completely rusted, and well, because it's a safety equipment, I prefer to get another one. I'm gonna get what else was there? A jack for the car because mine is missing, and I can't remember now. Maybe a set of headlights because mine are all the mirror part in the inside of them is shot as well, so I'm not sure it's going to be in good enough a state to not fail at the MOT. And that's about it, I think. I'm trying to remember what else there were, and I'm sure there were more than that, but I can't remember now. So anyway, when I go on Sunday, I'll try and video that as well, so that you can see whatever I bring home. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop this video here. No need for more for now. And hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna bring the car here and try and video that for you. In the meantime, well, I'll see you in the next video.